So Vince, we are out here doing a couple of drills, and I've got a couple of wheel guns on the table here. Want to get your quick thoughts on revolvers and your thoughts about revolvers for EDC.
All right, so in terms of revolvers, I'm not a fan because we don't have huge mag capacity right now. This is clear, as you can see. Now this is great for your everyday carries because you don't have a hammer. So you can actually have it in pockets, in a holster preferably, and you don't have any snag while trying to get it out. The downside is you don't have that hammer, so you can't make that softer trigger on that first pull if need be. The other, well, a couple other downsides I should say, is when you do close them, unlike in the films where you slam them closed, you actually want to close them and make sure it's locked in place. So you notice right there, it actually shifted a bit. Now that round wasn't in the barrel, so cylinder to barrel lineup wasn't quite there. The other thing you have to do is really change your shooting grip and have everything back past this chamber breach here, because if you have a thumb or a finger up front and you pull that trigger, that no longer belongs to you. It will fuck up your finger. My apologies.
You're fine. No, you're fine.
Jack up that finger. So some of these they're great. They're small. If in a close pinch, they're gonna fire. There's nothing that can jam it up. Somebody can't grab a hold of it and stop the slide from moving or jam that one round. You press trigger while somebody's holding it, it's gonna back up their hand. So you can pop these off. The other big downside with certain revolvers, especially without a hammer, is the trigger's heavy. Like this is like a 9.4 pound trigger. This is 9.2. So downside, you do have that crimson trace. It seems to be a red laser. I'd highly recommend people get green lasers because you can actually pick it up further, easier to see. Red kind of blends away after about 10 feet or so, unless it's dark. But lasers are great with a revolver because if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Absolutely. So if you had to have two of the top benefits for new shooters, new EDC carriers, what would be two of your top benefits for carrying a revolver?
Well, ease of maintenance. So clean gun, it's easy to clean. That's a huge plus. A lot of people aren't used to, magazines in, chambering. A lot of people are kind of freaked out about carrying with one in the chamber and depending on where you carry. Now, revolvers, a lot of them don't have safeties. It's truly the trigger. So there are some individuals that will keep one chamber empty, and that's what they'll line up for that fear factor. Like, if my gun goes off, I'll get that one click. Or if need be and I'm in a dangerous situation, the mindset is I'll be able to get that one click and then I can start firing. A lot of them too, like when I put the hammer back, they'll get to that round where I need it to be. So ease of use, right off the bat, you grab it, start squeezing trigger. That's it. They're short, compact. A lot of them are pretty light. Now go downside again, the lighter the gun, the more recoil you will feel, right? The heavier the firearm, the less recoil, energy transfer. So in my opinion, for a new shooter, somebody wants to get into it, a revolver's a good way to go. I would recommend going to a range, trying out a bunch of different guns first before ever purchasing, especially make sure it fits your hand. And then, especially if you're using a revolver, learn proper grips. There is a bunch of different grips from that whole teacup back in the day. Downward grips, thumb overs, thumb across. This one's great if you have a hammer because you can pull back each time and make that happen. So working in conjoined, but that'd be about it.
Awesome. Your thoughts on revolvers?
Yeah, I think the simplicity of the mechanism is really nice, and then not being worried about coming out of battery. And that's a big thing with every carry. Even a slight out of battery for a typical Palmer is like a fire, and you have to worry about that. Revolver. The other thing is that I'm going to say it, but we're starting to see more and more states go to magazine restrictions, right? And so it's making it more compelling for you to get a revolver because you're not going to get the benefits of big magazines anymore unless you're carrying it legally. So I think there's something to be said about that. But my biggest thing is simplicity, and then also it maintains battery.
What would be one of the major downsides to utilizing it?
One major downside to utilizing it, I just think, is actually aiming it. You know, the laser's there, but I think that you can get a better grip on a different style weapon. And grip and then trigger pull are going to be very important even at close range. So I think that's one of the major downsides.
Awesome. Thank you.